Wherever you go, go with all your heart. We should feel sorrow but not sink under its oppression. And remember, no matter where you go, there you are. To be wealthy and honored in an unjust society is a disgrace. Roads were made for journeys, not destinations. To go beyond is as wrong as to fall short. The way you cut your meat reflects the way you live. Real knowledge is to know the extent of one's ignorance. Desire to have things done quickly prevents their being done thoroughly. 3 things cannot long be hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth. The object of the superior man is truth. What you do not wish upon yourself, extend not to others. A man of wisdom delights in water. Learn as if you were not reaching your goal and as though you were scared of missing it. To understand yourself is the key to wisdom. Sincerity is the way of heaven. When anger rises, think of the consequences. A lack of patience in trifling matters might lead to the disruption of great project. Straightforwardness without the rules of propriety becomes rudeness. Love is like a spice. It can sweeten your life, however, it can spoil it too. The true gentleman does not preach what he practices till he has practiced what he preaches. It is man that makes truth great, not truth that makes man great. Silence is a true friend who never betrays. Faithfulness and sincerity are the highest things. The journey with 1,000 miles begins with 1 step. Anyone can find the switch after the lights are on. Sincerity is that whereby self-completion is effected, and its way is that by which man must direct himself. 1 joy dispels 100 cares. Everything has beauty, but not everyone sees it. To love a thing means wanting it to live. A lion chased me up a tree, and I greatly enjoyed the view from the top. Study the past if you would divine the future. Can there be a love which does not make demands on its object? He who speaks without modesty will find it difficult to make his words good. If you try to do too much, you will not achieve anything. True goodness springs from a man's own heart. All men are born good. You can successfully force people to follow a certain course, but you cannot force them to understand it. The man who asks a question is a fool for a minute. The man who does not ask is a fool for life. The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones. The superior man is satisfied and composed. The mean man is always full of distress. Do not let a leader lead you on a bad path. Music produces a kind of pleasure which human nature cannot do without. Ah, music, sacred tongue of God, I hear thee calling and I come. You are what you think. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Our greatest glory is not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. They must often change who would remain constant in happiness and wisdom. Knowing something is not as good as liking it. Liking something is not as good as rejoicing in it. Be not ashamed of mistakes, and thus make them crimes. The more man meditates upon good thoughts, the better will be his world and the world at large. I slept and dreamt life is beauty. I woke and found life is duty.
We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, therefore, is not an act, but a habit. Through discipline comes freedom. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom. Hope is a waking dream. The more you know you don't know. No great mind has ever existed without a touch of madness. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. To avoid criticism, say nothing, do nothing, be nothing. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. It is during our darkest moments that we must focus to see the light. He who cannot be a good follower cannot be a good leader. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet. I count him braver who overcomes his desires than him who overcomes his enemies. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. Fortune favors the bold. Happiness is a state of activity. Happiness is the meaning and the purpose of life, the whole aim and end of human existence. Where the needs of the world and your talents cross, there lies your vocation. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality which guarantees the others. The antidote for 50 enemies is one friend. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. Happiness depends upon ourselves. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. What is a friend? A single soul dwelling in two bodies. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Well begun is half done. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. He who is to be a good ruler must have first been ruled. Our problem is not that we aim too high and miss, but that we aim too low and hit. Those who know, do. Those that understand, teach. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. A friend to all is a friend to none. Learning is not child's play. We cannot learn without pain. The high-minded man must care more for the truth than for what people think. Men acquire a particular quality by constantly acting in a particular way. In all things of nature there is something of the marvelous. Excellence is an art won by training and habituation. It is not enough to win a war, it is more important to organize the peace. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. The complete man must work, study, and wrestle. To write well, express yourself like the common people, but think like a wise man. What is the essence of life? To serve others and to do good. The law is reason free from passion. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. All paid jobs absorb and degrade the mind. Great men are always of a nature originally melancholy.
When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Let men see, let them know a real man who lives as he was meant to live. The memory of everything is very soon overwhelmed in time. You shouldn't give circumstances the power to rouse anger, for they don't care at all. The mind freed from passions is an impenetrable fortress. A person has no more secure place of refuge for all time. That cucumber is bitter, so toss it out. There are thorns on the path, then keep away. Enough said. Why ponder the existence of nuisance? A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. Let each thing you would do, say, or intend be like that of a dying person. The best answer to anger is silence. Give thyself leisure to learn some good thing and cease roving and wandering to and fro. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible. You have been formed of three parts, body, breath, and mind. Of these, the first two are yours insofar as they are only in your care. The third alone is truly yours. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing, because an artful life requires being prepared to meet and withstand sudden and unexpected attacks. No random actions, none not based on underlying principles. Choose not to be harmed and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed and you haven't been. Stay calm and serene regardless of what life throws at you. How much time he gains who does not look to see what his neighbor says or does or thinks, but only at what he does himself, to make it just and holy. Dig deep within yourself, for there is a fountain of goodness ever ready to flow if you will keep digging. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. I learned to read carefully and not be satisfied with a rough understanding of the whole, and not to agree too quickly with those who have a lot to say about something. Life is short. The fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good. Wherever a person can live, there one can also live well. That which isn't good for the hive isn't good for the bee. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. Here is a rule to remember in future when anything tempts you to feel bitter. Not this is misfortune, but to bear this worthily as good fortune. Live out your life in truth and justice, tolerant of those who are neither true nor just. We live only now. Everything else is either past or is unknown. To love only what happens, what was destined, no greater harmony. Do not act as if you are going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. It isn't manly to be enraged. Rather, gentleness and civility are more human and therefore manlier. The nearer a man comes to a calm mind, the closer he is to strength.